So you want EU funding, right? And if you're working in EU projects, you know how tough the competition is. That's why in this episode we're going to cover some tools that will give you an edge in securing funding and especially in building good collaborations. So first, I'll show you how to use the AI-powered tool, Build Your Winning Consortium with AI, to find the right partners faster and strengthen your project proposal. Then I'll talk with Steve. He basically is a Budapest kid, no offense, but he's a kid with experience in hundreds of projects, even though he's a kid. A great kid. And we'll have a great discussion on the use of social networks for building trust with your target groups. That and a lot more, but that's the most interesting part of that interview, in my view. After that, I'll introduce you to my brand new GPT. Yeah, I made a GPT. This will help you draft EU project proposals with AI-powered precision. I hope. I'm sure. Finally, we'll do a deep dive into an open call under the Interreg NextMed program, and we're breaking it down in eligibility, expected outcomes, budget details, and how you can apply. So whether you are an experienced project leader or you're just getting started, this episode will make you smarter, more strategic, especially more strategic to maximize your funding success chances. As always, don't forget to check out the links in the show notes where you'll find contacts and free resources, including my latest offer, the Build Your Winning Consortium with AI. It's a guide. And as always, please subscribe wherever you are. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, please share it with your friends. If you don't, please share it with your enemies, but please share it, okay? Bye.
So, you think the only way to fund a startup is in Silicon Valley? What if I told you Europe might actually be a better bet, with higher success rates, faster approvals, and non-dilutive funding? Today, I'm going to break the myth that raising money for your startup is only possible in the US. You'll learn why EU funding might be the smartest move for entrepreneurs right now, and how you can tap into it. Let's dive in. For years, we've heard the same story. If you're serious about funding your startup, you need to be in Silicon Valley, New York, or Boston. Why? Because venture capital, VC, in the US is massive, with billion-dollar rounds happening all the time. But let's talk numbers. The reality? If you're a startup founder looking for funding, your chances of securing VC in the US are around 1% or lower. The process takes, on average, a year or more, and when you finally get a deal, you're giving away equity, often on terms that favor the investor, not you. Now, let's compare that to EU funding programs. The European Union has massive grant and investment programs for startups, designed to fund innovation, sustainability, and growth without taking equity. For example, the EIC Accelerator offers up to 2.5 million euros in grants and up to 15 million euros in equity, with an average success rate of 5-7%, which is at least 5x better than VC in the US.
And what about speed?
European funding programs typically review and approve applications within 3 to 6 months, compared to a year or more for VC in the US. So the question is, why aren't more startups looking at EU funding? Just last week, I had Luis Esteban on the podcast, and he broke down a fascinating stat. Startups using EU funding programs have a higher survival rate, faster growth trajectories, and, most importantly, they retain full ownership. So, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to skip the endless VC grind, here's what you should do next. Look at EIC Accelerator, Interreg, and Horizon Europe. These are major EU funding programs that support startups. Check eligibility. Many funds are open to startups in tech, sustainability, deep tech, and social impact sectors. Prepare a strong application. If you're not sure which program is right for you, try Luis Esteban's startup, Europe Red, a platform designed to match startups with the right EU funding opportunities. Want to hear real success stories? Listen to my latest podcast episode featuring founders who made it happen. So, what do you think? Is it time to rethink where startups should look for funding? If you found this insightful, subscribe to the podcast, and share this episode with a founder who needs to hear this. See you in the next episode.
EU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to Polyxoc's newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnoVU and Polyxocs with anyone you feel will enjoy it. Credits: author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.
So, finding the perfect partners for your EU project proposal feels overwhelming? It doesn't have to be. With Build Your Winning Consortium with AI, you can use AI to identify, evaluate, and structure the perfect partnership, all in a matter of minutes. And here's the best part. I'll show you how to use it right now to secure top-scoring partners and prove to evaluators that your consortium is the best fit for funding. Let's dive in. If you've ever applied for EU funding, you know this. Your consortium can make or break your proposal. The EU isn't just looking for great ideas. They want strong, strategic, and well-balanced teams that can actually deliver results. But how do you find partners that match the expertise needed for your project? Prove to evaluators that your consortium is the perfect fit for the call? Do all this without spending months on partner searches? That's exactly what Build Your Winning Consortium with AI helps you do. Here's how you can use this guide to build your dream consortium in just 3 steps. Step 1. Identify the skills you need. Open the guide and use the AI-powered prompt provided. Enter your project details and the call's requirements, and let AI extract the exact skills and expertise needed for your consortium. Step 2. Find and match the right partners. AI can scan databases, LinkedIn, and past EU projects to suggest partners based on eligibility and expertise. The tool will give you a ready-made table that maps each project activity to the skills needed and the ideal partner types. Step 3. Prove to evaluators that your consortium is the best choice. Once you have your partners, insert the AI-generated table into your proposal and replace the partner types with the actual partners you assembled. This clearly shows evaluators. Your partners cover all required competencies. You've built a balanced, diverse, and strategic consortium. Your project is ready for execution from day one. End result? You go from a random group of organizations to a high-scoring, fundable team. I've seen project leaders spend months, sometimes years, trying to build the perfect consortium. But using this AI framework, you can cut partner search time by 80%. Find better aligned partners that match the call's priorities. Increase their proposal success rates by up to 40%. And now, you can do the same with just one AI-powered guide. So, are you ready to stop guessing and start winning EU funding? Download Build Your Winning Consortium with AI today, completely free. Just click the link below, get the AI-powered prompts, and start building your perfect partnership today. And if you found this helpful, subscribe for more expert EU funding strategies. See you in the next video.
So, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to InnoVU, the EU Project Chronicles. Today we have with us a special guest from Hungary, and I'm afraid to say your Hungarian name. I always call you Steve. What's your name, really?
Hi, I am Himanshu Gupta. So Steve is my nickname, and I'm the founder of Creative Youth Academy Hungary.
Good morning, welcome. And where are you based? Budapest?
Yes, we are based in Budapest.
And this Creative Youth Academy, how old is it? When was it
So
started?
we were officially established in 2022. But before that, I've been working with other organizations. So we already had the base before as well, but officially we started from 2022.
So what's your experience with the EU funded project?
So if we talk about our experience with the European funded projects, so far we have been a part of more than 100 K1 youth projects, including youth exchanges, training courses, youth participation activities, job shadowing, accredited projects, and if we talk about the small scale and large scale partnership, we have been a part of more than 10. Key Action 2 projects, including both Key Action 210 and Key Action 220. And apart from the European projects, apart from not the European but the Erasmus umbrella, we have been also part of Visegrad projects, which are regional grants. And besides that, we have been also working with the United Nations in some of the projects like COP27. And also, other than the umbrella of Erasmus, we have been a part of European Youth Foundation and some other grants. And we are also working on SERVE and other like Horizons and other projects.
So I guess that a lot of viewers are now saying, "Oh, this guy looks so young. How can he have been involved in so many projects? How can he has that long experience?" But I guess you can say you've been busy, quite busy in these years. Um, I like to ask always this question. Of all those projects, is there one that's your favorite, that the one that brings you better memories?
I would say one of my favorite projects was empowering disadvantaged students through design thinking for academic success. So this project not only provided tangible skills to students, but also fostered creative problem solving and inclusivity in education. This project we carried out with the Directorate of Turkey and with the primary school in Greece, and from Hungary, we were the part of that.
Hmm. Tell me, do you have a feeling, an assessment of the impact these projects had on your target audiences? Uh, what's your...
Yes, so we have a very great impact on our organization social media. We have more than 40,000 post engagements every month. So you can see it's really too much, and it just
Mhm.
on social media we have 40,000, and it's on our Instagram, but we also have other social media platforms, which is also attracting different target groups, and they also have quite good post engagements and views. And we are not just we don't just have our focus in Hungary, but also in many other European countries. And so when we see our dashboard on our social media, then we can see that there are a lot of young peoples, and not just young peoples, but teachers, schools, and many other organizations across the world. They are following our organization, and they're following our post, and they're learning from it, and which is really nice when we see that from different parts of the world they're also interacting with our projects. So, and so far we have been benefited more than thousands of young people's teachers, students in different projects. Also, we have welcomed several schools, municipalities, students, young peoples to Hungary. And so, if we say about the direct impact, we had on more than thousands of people. Indirect impact on our social media and everything, we had like more than 40,000 every month.
That's a lot. Uh, that's quite a lot. But let me just interrupt to say that to our audience that now that you mention your social media, we'll have your contacts available in the notes of the podcast, whatever the platform that viewers are or listeners are assisting. You can check the notes for the contacts of Steve. Okay, I'll keep calling you Steve if you don't mind.
Okay.
Uh, let me ask you a different question. Some episodes back, we had here a couple of ladies who are involved in many Erasmus projects as well, and they were somehow complaining that nowadays it's getting harder to convince young people to join some mobility project or some other Erasmus initiative. Do you corroborate that? Do you have that experience as well?
I mean, our main group that is we are working in Hungary, so we don't have any problem with that because we have a lot of local activities. So we have a lot of volunteers and youth workers who are regularly working with us. So we never face a problem in finding the young people or the relevant target group to join the projects. But I mean, we are also helping other countries. So sometimes my friends from France, Georgia, and other countries, they ask us, "Hi, can you help us in finding the people for our projects because we are unable to do that, especially from Sweden." And so sometimes we say that yes, we can help because we also have people from other countries on our social media. So we try to share their calls and find them the suitable people. But yes, there is, let's say, if we talk about the Nordic countries, then it's really hard for them to find peoples. I know the case from Iceland. So for the Iceland, if the people want to go to projects, they will say that I take off from my job, so I need money to go to the project. So it's I would say it's just like more in like Nordic countries we have this situation, or in Western countries, but in like most of the other part of Europe, we don't face this issue, or at least we don't face this issue.
Mm. That's something for me quite shocking because I was teaching for a long time, and I assisted when the first Erasmus programs were available here in Portugal. And well, people would basically line up to join and there weren't enough room for everyone, and everybody wanted to go abroad and be part of one of these projects. So it's for me, it's kind of confusing to see that nowadays. People don't bother to do that. That's kind of confusing to me. But let me ask you a different question. For what you've been telling us, you've been using your social networks more extensively than any other guests that I had here before. What's the role of social networks in your projects? How do you use them?
Uh, like I'm a bit confused. Do you mention about the dissemination strategy or like visibility of our projects or like our
Either
approach?
way. Either way, how do you use your social networks in this context of the project?
Yes, so I would also relate this with the previous question that you asked me. So in Hungary also, like we have this situation that sometimes the other Hungarian organizations, they contact us and they ask that they do not have the participants for that to go. And one thing is that like let's say if you want to, now we know what Erasmus is, but let's say if we talk about the newcomers or the less experienced people, if you want to send them abroad and they see your organization, they don't see any activity there, like they, of course, if you get an offer to go with someone, you wanted to be sure that you would be safe in that project, this project is reliable. And so you check their organization page and you found no activities or little activities, and they cannot establish a connection with the organization, that if I go with this organization, it would be really authentic or not. So in these cases, the participants, they are afraid to contact and they are afraid to join the projects of those organizations. So if we talk about our organization, So I will also, you can also attach our links, Fernando, to this with this podcast video. So if you see our organization, you can see a lot of activities, including the testimonials from the participants who have been to our projects. So basically, the new people who never been to Rasmus or who are less experienced, they can see this testimonials of these people, which is, like it's like a real lifetime experience of others. So you see others and then you get motivated and you also build a connection with the organization.
Hmm.
And as we are not just having programs abroad, but we are also having programs in Hungary. So we build a connection with them. We invite them to our local programs. We invite them to our workshops, and we also have Erasmus Days. So in Erasmus Days, we share them the information about how the programs are working, how they can apply, and how they can connect with us. So by this time, the participants, they are already built connections with us, and so they are know that who we are, what we do, and so it's easy for them to come to us and to join our activities.
So you use them, use your social networks to build trust with showing your activities. I think that's quite interesting. And I understand why it's easier for you to get participants because you've been actually actively building your online presence, and so people can see what you do and trust that you know what you're doing. Um, that's quite interesting, really. Let me ask you a different question. Uh, what's your view for the future? What kind of projects would you like to do in the future?
All right. And yeah, I will answer this question, but I will also forgot to mention like some information about our organization. So I will connect this question with
Sure.
about organization. So Creative Youth Academy Hungary, it's a youth-focused non-profit organization based in Budapest, and we specialize in education, social inclusion, and sustainability through innovative methodologies such as design thinking and digital tools. Our organization has been actively involved in European funded projects since 2022, collaborating with various European partners to create meaningful impact. And if we talk about our future, so I would like to focus on projects that integrate environmental sustainability with digital education, such as using artificial intelligence and digital storytelling for climate action awareness. Additionally, I'm interested in expanding innovation initiatives that promote social inclusion and mental health for support for young people.
Hmm. So those are your plans for the future. So that can be in many different programs because um, you don't stick to just to Erasmus. Okay. And one final question. You've done a lot of projects, you told us before. Uh, what's your favorite part of these EU-funded projects? Writing the proposals, implementing the projects, writing the reporting. What's your favorite part of this activity?
I enjoy the implementation phase the most. Seeing ideas come to life and witnessing the real-time impact on participants is the most rewarding part of the project management. However, I also appreciate the writing phase where innovative concepts take shape. In our project, we are not implementing the projects like normal projects. So you can imagine a participant who have been to multiple projects and they see the same kind of energizer, same kind of activities, same format. We are not doing that. In our project, everything is very dynamic. So we adjust according to the people's need. We don't have this standard format that okay, we are using the same energizers or same starters, but we try to change them with time. Of course, like we cannot use always the landline phones. We have to switch to mobiles and we have to switch to another technology. So I see the many organizations, they are following the standards from 2014. The old one, they are still keeping to it, but we don't do that. But we try to change that And I really enjoy implementing this new dynamic phase, and the participants, they really like it. And also I want to tell about our recent project, which was about the bullying, and we got the good practice award from our national agency for that project. And you can find that on Erasmus Plus platform. So the national agency, they mentioned that it's a good practice project and it should be implemented, and it's like a model for other organizations
Mhm.
to follow this organization practice.
Congratulations on that award. It's quite relevant, I think, because that's a very serious issue. But you raised me another doubt, another question. If you could, you have all this experience in writing and implementing and reporting projects. If you could change one thing, just one, in the all this process, how the EU projects work, what would it be? What would you change?
I would simplify the administrative and financial reporting process, making it easier for the small organizations to participate. Additionally, I would advocate for more flexible funding structures to allow for adaptive project implementation based on evolving community needs.
Okay, so you cheated a little instead of one. Me too, thank you. Thank you for this conversation. Is there any final message you want to use, maybe for newcomers? I don't know.
So I would say start with smaller scale projects to build experience before applying for larger grants, and partner with the experienced organizations to learn best practices and focus on projects that align with your expertise and passion. Most importantly, ensure strong communication and engagement with stakeholders to maximize the impact of your work.
Thank you for very much for that message. I think you put some important issues there, and thank you for this interview. I hope we'll see each other very soon again, and see you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Fernando, for inviting me to this lovely podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Applying for EU funding? You know how it goes. Complex guidelines, endless documents, strict evaluation criteria. What do they really want? Is my proposal strong enough? Will I get funded? You put in months of effort, only to get rejected. No feedback, no second chances. Where do you even start? Who can help? And how do you know if you're on the right track? What if there was a way to know your chances before submitting? What if there was a way to increase those chances by using real data, not guesses? Coming soon, the ultimate AI funding proposal assistant.
Are you working on innovative solutions for a greener Mediterranean? Do you have a bold project to drive sustainable transformation? Introducing the Encourage Next MED Green Transition Call. Over 83 million euros in EU funding is available for projects focused on climate resilience and clean energy, circular economy and resource efficiency, sustainable water management, and climate change adaptation and risk prevention. Who can apply? Public and private organizations, including local, regional, and national authorities, NGOs, universities, research institutions, business support organizations and chambers of commerce, and international organizations and sectoral agencies. Eligibility conditions include a minimum of 3 partners from 3 eligible countries, at least 1 partner from an EU Mediterranean country, and 1 from a partner country, a maximum of 2 partners from the same country, and advisory partners outside the eligible area can participate under conditions. Eligible countries include Algeria, Cyprus, Egypt, France, Greece, Israel, Italy, Jordan, Lebanon, Malta, Palestine, Portugal, Spain, Tunisia, and Turkey. Funding details. Total EU funding available is 83.7 million euros. Funding per project includes green transformation projects ranging from 1.78 million euros to 3.5 million euros and eco-youth projects ranging from 623,000 euros to 2 million euros. EU co-financing covers up to 89% of project costs, and at least 50% of activities must be implemented in Mediterranean partner countries. Important dates and application process. The deadline for submission is April 15th, 2025, 1 p.m. CET. Apply via https://ephrem interregnexmed EU. Proposals must be in English or French. Tip: review the full guidelines for applicants and FAQs at www.interregnexmed.eu. Why apply? Gain significant EU funding to scale your sustainability project, build strategic Mediterranean partnerships for lasting impact, and get recognized at a transnational level for climate solutions. The Mediterranean is evolving. Let's build a greener future together. Apply now. For full details, visit www.interregnexmed.eu.
EU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to the Polixox newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnoVU and Polixox with anyone you feel will enjoy it. Credits: author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.